everybody, welcome back to another episode on Kristie vs. Kitchen. I'm really excited for today's episode because we are going to be doing a copycat version of Reese's famous Easter egg. I'm really excited for today's bake because I absolutely love Reese's eggs. There's just something about them. They are so sweet, so delicious, and this happens to be one of Eric's favorite candies as well. So the recipe seems fairly straightforward. We just need some peanut butter, powdered sugar, chocolate, shortening, and a little bit of butter, and of course a cookie cutter in the shape of an egg. So I'm really excited to begin. Let's get started. So to begin, we need to melt the butter, and I am going to be halving this recipe, and so the full recipe is linked down below. Make sure that the butter is melted. The next thing we need is a cup and a half of powdered sugar. I'm just gonna add a little bit more, and that was probably a cup and a half. Next, we need 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter. Make sure it's creamy. So I chose Skippy. I don't think it matters if you use Jif, if you're team Jif, team Skippy, just so long as it's smooth and creamy. It's about like 3/4 of a cup to me. We're just gonna add that into the mixture. We're just gonna mix it together. So essentially, once this is all mixed, it's going to form like a peanut butter dough. Okay, perfect. That looks really good. Now that the dough is mixed, they said it's supposed to be crumbly, which it is, and then we're just gonna add 1 tablespoon of milk. Wow, that totally changed the consistency. Cool, now we got this nice round ball of dough. All right, now that we've got the dough all mixed, we need to roll it out. So I'm going to roll it between 2 pieces of parchment paper. This was a little trick I learned on YouTube. And we want to roll the dough out to be about a 1/2 inch thick. Now we've got our dough, and we are going to use our cookie cutter to cut out the shape of the eggs. And this was the only size I could find for an egg, so these are gonna be really big Reese's eggs, which, no, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna lay these down on this parchment paper over here. And I'm going to roll this out again. All right, perfect. I'm going to now just put these onto a baking tray because they're just gonna go in the freezer for about an hour. So into the freezer these go. Now earlier today, I met with my neighbor Cheryl, who is getting ready for Passover, and she was kind enough to show me how she makes dessert matzah. This was a really fun recipe to observe. It was very simple, and I thought that would be really cool to share with you guys. All right, Cheryl, what are we making today?
We're going to be making toffee chocolate-covered matzah for Passover.
Explain what Passover is exactly.
Well, Passover is a Jewish holiday that originated when Moses freed the Jewish slaves from Egypt about 1,500 years ago, and they wandered in the desert for 40 years. But matzah commemorates the fact that they had no time to leave. They just had to get out of Egypt as fast as they could, and they didn't have time for anything to rise. They couldn't use any leavening in their bread. So they got matzah, they mixed flour and water, it became a cracker, and that's how we commemorate Passover. Eating things that don't have any leavening in it.
Oh, okay.
Or So we have matzah.
That's interesting. So this is plain matzah.
It's just flour and water.
Care if I break it? So it's like a giant saltine cracker.
But it has taste. It tastes like cardboard.
I see why we're gonna put chocolate on it. All right, what do we need to start with?
I'm going to take this and I'm going to spray aluminum covered can.
Down.
We're going to lay down the matzah here, and I preheated the oven to 350 degrees. All right, so we're going to take 2 sticks of butter, and I did soften it a little bit. And I'm going to pour it over the matzah.
Now into the freezer.
I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. I clear space for it.
Thank you for showing us how to make dessert matzah.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
All right, it has been just about an hour. So what I want to do, I want to get the chocolate ready for the dipping of these little Reese's eggs. So what we need is 1 bag of milk chocolate chips and 1 tablespoon of shortening. I'm just gonna add it to a microwave safe bowl, add in the shortening, and then we're gonna melt it. All right, perfect. So, yeah, I think because I didn't quite, I did them more like a 1/4 of an inch. I'm actually gonna stack them because that's now about a 1/2 inch, so. All right, that is really, really nice. The shortening makes it easier to, it just kind of smooths it out a little bit, so I highly recommend using shortening. You can even use coconut oil. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just gonna reuse the parchment paper. Smooth it. Perfect. Okay, these actually turned out really pretty. Now that I'm just gonna put them back into the freezer for like another 15 minutes and then they'll be ready. All right, these are done. When you peel them off the parchment, there's some like extra chocolate on there, so I'm just gonna like break that off around there. But yeah, look at that. We got some Reese's chocolate eggs. Ooh. All right, let's go ahead and give these a try. That tastes just like a Reese's. You guys, I kid you not right now. This tastes just like a Reese's peanut butter cup. What? This is crazy. This is amazing. Does it taste like a Reese's peanut butter cup?
Exactly like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Ha. All right, now let's go ahead and try this dessert matzah. I've never had this before, so I'm really excited. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to taste like, but it looks really good. That's really good. The only way I can describe it is that it kind of tastes like a Heath bar. That is delicious. Wow, I'm really impressed with that.
That's good.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching another episode on Kristie vs. Kitchen. Make sure to like the video if you liked it. Comment down below, what would you like me to make next? I hope you have an amazing day whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.